Today I'm bringing you my Magicka Nightblade. It's a 1-bar Oakensoul build. It's something that is honestly really strong, even though I'm low level I'm only CP 800 on PC. I'm an Xbox transfer, so I was 1100 there. Been trying to grind my CP up, but like I said, I'm only 812, so in this build it's still pretty dang strong. So yeah, let's not waste any time. Let's jump right in. Going to the stats, as you can see, we are in Cyrodiil. I'm standing at the AD gate. So I rock 40 points into Magicka, 24 into health. I do this on this particular build. Basically what I try and do for my PvP builds is get everyone to 30k, as close to 30k as possible. And I stack the rest into Magicka. So 30k health, 22k Magicka. And these stats will go up. I don't have Undaunted at all on this character. And I don't have, like I said, I literally just hit 50 on this character not very long ago. So you'll see that my stats will get better. And if you already have a max out, your build will be better than mine. So let's go. You can see the recoveries are decent. These are completely unbuffed. 1790 Magicka, basically 1150 stamina. The health recovery is super low. We are a stage 3 vamp, so we get that undeath passive. Spell damage unbuffed, we're sitting at 6k. I mean, very, very good. Spell pen unbuffed, 10k. This goes up to over 13k. And the spell damage I've seen get almost near 8k. It's like 7.5. The resists are decent. I mean, they're not great, but those are the base resists. You do have 1949 crit resist, but with Rallying Cry, which we're running, this goes up to over 3.5k. It's kind of unnecessary to have it that high, so yeah, I mean, I may test some other builds and see what I can do, but for now, I mean, this has been working and it's really dang good. You can see all the buffs here from Oakensoul. I mean, it's just crazy. That one ring gives you all that. We are running Smoked Bear Haunch. This is the best in slot food for literally every build in the game, basically. It's super, super expensive, though, so if you don't want to run this, you can run Jewels of Misrule, which give you basically the same buffs, except for the health recovery. You could also run Bewitched Sugar Skulls, if that's your thing. Those are cheaper as well. Those will give you all of your max stats. And yeah, as you can see, then once we get into the skills, which I'll go into next, you'll see how the skills really like play into this Oakensoul. So let's go ahead and dive into that. I think I covered everything. Well, real quick, I'll go ahead and buff real quick. Pop a pot. Now you can see here the magic recovery is almost over 2100. Stamina is over 1400. Your spell damage did go up a little bit from that to 6.3. Spell crit 41. Then there's your crit resist with Rallying Cry 3500. It's really good. So yeah, let's go into the skills. Straighten my guy out here. Whatever. So first things first here, let me go. Our main spammable and our first skill is Arterial Burst. This, I mean, look at the tooltip here. It's an 11k tooltip, 11.1k tooltip, and it's going to deal more damage, up to 33% more based on your missing health. So anytime I get low, which it works well not having a burst heal. I have 2 strong self-hots, which you'll get into that in a second. But so when I'm getting low, I'm spamming that, but it's not bursting me right back up. It's taking that time to get up. An Arterial Burst, basically whenever I'm lower health, this is dealing more damage. And if I'm under 50%, it's always a crit. It's always a crit. So I mean, it's honestly an overtuned skill. The only thing is it's pretty clunky. So like you'll see later in the gameplay, I mean, it's hard to kind of light attack weave with it. If you wanted to swap it out, obviously you could go Veiled Strike, then the Morph Concealed Weapon for Magicka. This build is way easier to light attack weave. And it's probably, if I'm being honest, the more practical one to use. But I do like the Vampire. I just like their Arterial Burst myself. This is almost an 11k tooltip, and it can stun if you are, let me see. Stuns the enemy for 3 seconds if you concealed weapon from the flank, and it sets them off balance. So Like I said, this is probably the better one, but Arterial Burst is just as good. I mean, the only thing is it's a little clunkier. This can deal more damage though. Next skill, we're gonna go Sigil Porter. Race Against Time. This ability is literally on every single one of my builds. I don't care what I'm running, this ability is on it. This ability is super overtuned as well. I mean, you're getting major expeditions, you're getting movement speed buff, minor force, a crit damage buff, which, speaking of those, major expedition and minor force are two buffs you do not get from Oakensoul. So I guess I could have went over gear first, but we'll do that in a second. Oakensoul, yeah, if you look there, you're not getting major expedition and you're not getting minor force. You're getting major force. So this skill stacks perfectly there. You're getting 2 more buffs, movement speed, and crit damage. I mean, and snare removal. Like, the ability is just, it's so good. And then you want all your passives here. It's going to make your Race Against Time cheaper. You get some, like, these spell orbs that build up as you use it in combat. And honestly, this is a nice little chunk of burst damage. I've seen it kind of hurt people. You get a nice little damage shield when you block, and then reduce damage taken as you're casting Race Against Time. So all in all, very good to have on your bar, especially on a 1-bar build. Our third skill is a Nightblade staple. Almost every Nightblade has this on their build, and if they don't, I really don't know what they're doing. It's our burst. I mean, it's your main burst damage skill. The only thing is you do have to build it up by weaving your light attacks, and with our arterial burst, as we talked about, it can be hard to weave those light attacks sometimes, especially in Grey Host when the lag starts. It can be hard for those stacks to build up, so just keep that in mind. Again, that's why Concealed Weapon is probably the more practical one to go with, but to each their own. You hit them with 5 light attacks, it builds it up, and then you are unleashing, the tooltip right now is 22.2k. And like I said, we're probably still in our base. We're at 6.1k spell damage, and this gets up to over 7k. So when you're that high, this is going to be even higher. It's probably around 25, 26, 27k tooltip, whatever the math is on that. And you heal for 50% of the damage dealt if you are in melee range. And this is a melee Magblade, so you should be in melee range. Yeah, it's kind of a must-have. Again, with a 1-bar build, you're really limited. And that's what I've been loving about it so much. It's like, man, what do I want to put on here? There's so many skills, and it's really fun to kind of theory craft around just 1 bar. But I think this is a must-have for sure. Skill number 4, we're using Resolving Vigor on a Magicka Nightblade. Yeah, I'm running this, and you'll see actually my next 2 skills are both heals. So Resolving Vigor is just a huge heal, 20k over 4 seconds, so 5k a second. And then Dark Cloak is 3k a second, plus you're getting minor protection. Another great thing about that, you do not get minor protection from Oakensoul. You get major protection, but no minor. So again, it's a really good stack right there. Complements it really, really well. And it's just a lot of healing. So in these 2 heals, like I said, we're not running a burst heal. I mean, Merciless Resolve kind of has that burst heal on it, but it's not consistent. So as you're fighting and you're getting low health, especially if you're outnumbered, you're going to be casting your heals, but you're not bursting back up to full. Those are ticking, ticking, ticking. So you're going to be low health at times. And that helps when we have on death, 30% damage reduction based on our lower health. And then, so when we're low health, we're pretty tanky, and we're dealing more damage with arterial burst. It's just really good synergy throughout all of these skills in Oakensoul. And then our ultimate is Soul Harvest. I'm using this right now. It's, man, it claps people, 17k. Again, in Grey Host, in the lag, it can be hard to hit people. Sometimes they dodge it. I mean, a lot of times they dodge it, but it's cheap. And you hit someone with this, and then boom, you have a 20% damage increase. You put Major Defile on them so they can't heal as well. And you get an ultimate if you do get a kill. But again, another synergy here is you hit them with that big damage, you gain 20% damage against them for 20 seconds. If you're able to land that and then your 22k Merciless, and then hit them with an Arterial Burst, especially if you're lower health, because you're going to have 20% damage buff, and you could possibly have a 33% more damage, so like, you could possibly have a 53% damage buff from hitting someone with a Soul Harvest and then an Arterial. Like, it's strong. And I guess the passives, the rest, obviously you want all of your skills. I am running a high elf here. I think this is honestly best in slot because I do like the sustain here. I mean, you could argue that dark elf is probably better, but I like the max magicka. Weapon and spell damage is big time. And then this is a nice little sustain buff. We're not running any form of sustain really other than or Zorgas, our potions. So it's nice to have this. And this also stacks with any time you are using ability as a channel or a cast time, you have 5% less damage. Let me see if that, well, so it's no cast time or channel, but either way, I think high elf is one of the top you can damage races you can run. Dark elf is probably good. You could argue that it might even be better because we are running stamina heal, so we kind of need some of that stamina. And then yeah, Khajiit would be solid. Breton would be good. Any of the magic races. Honestly, you could make a lot of different ones work. So let's obviously the passives. You're gonna want all of your support. I mean, you don't really need this because we're not running a support ability. Definitely want these two. Again, this character just hit 50 not long ago and just hit CP, so I don't have a lot of this unlocked. You're gonna want continuous attack, breach, and combat frenzy. That's another great synergy that I didn't mention is combat frenzy. You generate 10 ultimate when you kill a player. Same with Soul Harvest. So yeah, basically 20 ultimate every time you kill a player. And with this really cheap ultimate plus Oakensoul, you're getting major heroism for ultimate generation. I mean, it's just a ton of good synergies all around. Psijic, we said you want those. Vampire, you could put some into Darkstalker. Like I said, I have 5 points. I'm just kind of like waiting to fill up other ones. But Undeath, Strike from Shadows. You don't even, really all you need is Undeath. Strike from Shadows, we're not running any kind of invisibility or sneak or misform. We don't really, I mean, the thing is, yeah, you might sneak around or something if you need to feed or like if you need to, who knows. So I put it in there just in case, but Undeath is a big one. Darkstalker, yeah, actually, I'll go ahead and put points into here. And then we're only stage 3, so I don't use, I mean, Blood Ritual I probably would eventually, but again, you could probably put, if you have the points, fill up those. We are running, we'll get into the gear here in a second, but I'm running 2 heavy and 5 light. So you want all of your light and all of your heavy. And if you do put in a medium piece, which I'll talk about in a second, you'll obviously want all of your medium passives. Two-handed, I'm running two-handed here, so we take the first 2 and the last 2. Balance Blade you don't need because we're not running a two-handed ability. If you were running Berserker Strike as your ultimate, or a Rally even as a heal, it's an option, then you would put that in. We are running two-handed here. You'll see, I guess, we can mention that in the gear, but you could go dual wield if you want even, or Inferno Staff probably, and make it work. Be more of a range. You'd want to swap out Arterial, but anyway, siphoning, we are not running any siphoning skills, so all you need is Catalyst. 20 ultimate when you drink a potion. So again, you see the synergy, the ultimate synergy. You could make, like, I kind of want to mess around with an AoE build with this. Maybe use Drain Power. And, like, there's just so many things you could do. It's so cool. Shadow, all of those. Assassination, all of those. So let's then dive into the gear. Rallying Cry, as I mentioned. We're running hat, shoulder, and then 2 jewelry, and the shoes. So, yes, Rallying Cry is going to give you your crit chance, a line of maximum magicka, crit chance again. And then while Battle Spirit is active, which it always is in Cyrodiil, anytime you critically heal yourself or an ally, you basically gain 300 weapon and spell damage and 1600 crit resist. So this has like been one of the best back bar sets since it came out, and it's still really good. I would like to kind of mess around with some other sets because I don't think I need my crit resist that high. I'd like to, because I'm running a lot of Impin. I'm running 5 Impin, which I guess if you do want to run rallying, maybe it would be best to switch Impin for well-fitted and run 5 well-fitted. The options are endless, so that's up to you to kind of mess with those. I'm running One Piece Trainee for the max health, and this is heavy reinforced. All of my armor is going to have the tri-stat enchants, so we can get those pools as big as possible. Now for the other build, I have New Moon on. It's a damage set. It was one of the best damage sets in the game, if not the best, a few patches ago. It's still good, but obviously they put the cost increase on it, so it does hurt your sustain a little bit. The reason I'm running this still, I mean, it's just good damage. Yeah, I mean, you're getting crit chance, 129 weapon and spell damage, you're getting penetration, and you're getting 400 more. So basically 530 spell damage and almost 1500 penetration with some more crit chance, which you're getting a lot of crit chance from Rallying Cry as well. So yeah, obviously you could put on any damage set you want. I mean, Titanborn would be good, War Maiden could work. If you're a Templar and you're trying to look, you're watching this, you could run Deadly Strike. I mean, there's just so many options. If you want to run a burst set, you could run Kalurion. That could definitely work. Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of options. I would just put on a damage set and Rallying Cry, and I mean, you're good to go. On the jewelry, I am running infused spell damage. Like I said, we've got all of the sustain we kind of need from our pots. I didn't mention the Atronach is our Mundus Stone, so more Magicka recovery there. I've always thought that's like the best way to go, is get recovery through your food and your Mundus and your pots. And then here we're running the Great Sword. You could run like a mace or a maul, I mean, if you want more pen. You could also, if you're going dual wield, run 2 maces or 2 swords. But the thing is, since we're 1 bar, our healing is coming from this bar as well. So that Great Sword is going to give you more healing through the 2-handed passive. It increases your weapon and spell damage. So you're getting more healing that way. The pen would not give you the healing, but overall the pen would be a little bit more damage. So yes, I think that... Oh, I am running poisons here. If I wasn't, I would probably put on a weapon and spell damage enchant. But I've been testing out poisons, and they're always pretty good, the crown lethal poisons. But I have a feeling the spell damage might be even better. So once I run out of these, I'll probably slap that back on. I think that covers all of the gear. Like I said, it's 5 light, all Impin on the light, and 2 heavy, the chest and the legs, reinforced on the heavy, all enchant. Yeah, I think that covers that. Let's go into the CP. Again, I don't have a ton of CP, so I'm limited here. I'm running Gifted Rider, Steve's Blessing, Treasure Hunter, only because I have to unlock it to get here, so I might as well just put it on. What I would run if I was completely maxed: Gifted, Steeds, Rationer, Liquid Efficiency. So that's what you should run. The blue, this is where it gets kind of interesting. I need to test some different stuff out here. I'm running Untamed Aggression, Master at Arms, Deadly Aim, Ironclad. So 3 damage, 1 damage reduction. If I wanted to, what I kind of want to do is swap Untamed Aggression for Focused Mending, and see how that goes. I ran Focused Mending a few patches ago on one of my builds, and I actually really liked it. So I kind of want to do that again. But this has been working really good. So yeah, this is what I've been doing. You could also go for another damage reduction one and swap out Untamed. Run 2 damage reduction. into the red. We're running Boundless. Well, Celerity, Movement Speed, Fortified, more armor, Boundless Vitality, Max Health, Survival Instincts, which I don't have maxed out, but eventually I will. Yeah, there's not really much I want to switch here probably. You could run Juggernaut. You could run, like, Pain's Refuge would be pretty good. That might be the only one I would personally try. Relentlessness, you don't need major protection because you get that through Oakensoul at all times. Sustain by Suffering could be good, but again, we don't really need the sustain, so yeah, that is that. Let's back out. I think that pretty much covers the entire build. So I'll have some gameplay. I literally only captured a few hours of gameplay last night, but hey, I'll throw it on at the end of here and you can kind of see what the build looks like in action. As you can see though by the stats and everything, I mean, the build is, it's pretty dang strong, especially for me only being 815 CP. Yeah, it's really good. So I have a feeling all of you guys with your maxed out builds and maxed out CP, you could definitely, yeah, your build would be even stronger. Another thing I didn't mention, I don't think, was, yeah, I don't have Undaunted. Like, once you get the Undaunted stats, all of your stats are going to get better. Fighter's Guild, you could run Dawnbreaker. Like, you could run even a two-handed ultimate if you wanted. You could run Dawnbreaker here. That's one thing, like, if you want to run an AoE, like, if you're playing in a group, that's one thing you might want to consider is running an AoE style of this build. So in that case, yeah, I would put on Dawnbreaker if you have it. You could probably take off one of these heals. I would take off the stamina one probably. And then run Caltrops, potentially. Put Caltrops. And then you would want an AoE spammable. Yeah, I'm not sure on that. You could run dual wield and then test out Whirlwind for that. Definitely do that. Two-handed, you could try Cleave. Even in this build, I mean, it's hitting decently hard, but you'd probably prefer to be a stamina build if you did that. Either way, the options are there. Oh, Drain Power is what we were thinking for that. Yeah. Well, you don't need the Major Brutality and Sorcery. You're getting that from Oakensoul, but anyway, the options are really endless. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the build. And let's go ahead and jump into that gameplay. Thanks, guys. Oh yeah. Yeah, this build's gonna deal good damage. I just have to, like, get used to the buttons and figure out how to survive. Oh, please move, please move. Out of that. Oh! What is this guy doing? That's funny. Yeah, these one bar builds are freaking broken. Here, bud. Go in the tower, you little rat. me off this bush. Oh, there's multiple back here. That's good. Line of sight a little bit. Dude. Oh, I just... Dude, he's literally one shot. Let me... I can't heal. Oh my god, dude, this does so much damage. Getting used to these keybinds still though. What's this guy? Yeah, I'm done with this guy. He's a tank. Just waiting. Yeah, this guy's trying to... Oh, what? You don't want to just sit in the back and... I'm dead. This is fun though. For a little bit. Oh hey, nice dude, nice, solid life, bud. Can I use my ultimate? Oh, nice fucking try, dude. Should I drop? Fuck it. I don't really get hit by that. I'm done. I get way too aggressive. Yeah, I just want to say thank you guys for watching the video. If you like the build and you like the content, please hit that like button. It would mean a lot to me. And if you are feeling generous, hit that subscribe button. I will be releasing more builds in the near future. We've got a Magicka Templar ready to go, a Magicka Dragon Knight. I want to try the Oakensoul one ring or the 1-bar builds on them as well. Then I've got a Necromancer, a Warden, Sorcerer. I've got some others in the making, so there's definitely going to be future build videos. I do want to say about the gameplay, obviously, you know, it's not a ton of footage, but I think you guys can see that the build is survivable, does good damage. Playing in Grey Host, it's hard not to, I mean, it's just so zergy, and sometimes the skills don't go off, but, you know, the build holds its own, and even at a low CP, it's doing solid for me, so... again, like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.